guest, Chris Markowski, radio show, Watchdog on Wall Street. You can find out more from Chris, watchdogonwallstreet.com. Also with us, economist Peter Marisi from the University of Maryland. All right. That's jaw-dropping right there. But, guys, let's get back to Mr. Edward Liddy. Chris, I'll start with you. And people hear this story. They're like, wait a minute. $165 million of my taxpayer dollars go out to bonuses. Will all that come back? What are the chances of that?
Well, you already said that some of the employees are willing to give back half the money. I just want the public to put down their torches and pitchforks. I don't want the $160 million back. I want the $170 billion back. Right. And the only way that that is going to happen is if we put this aside and we sell this company. We break it up piece by piece. There are a lot of good assets behind AIG, and sell it so we can get our money back. We are on the wrong path right now with this crazy populism.
All right, Peter, talk about, do you agree with Chris there, or do we want that 165 back?
I want both.
Both. Okay.
I want all the money the federal government's put into AIG by selling off the various pieces. That's the plan, and it should move forward. But unfortunately, we've made the mistake of putting the AIG bankers in charge of that process, and it's not getting done. The federal government should have severed the good companies right from the beginning, but that's done, and we have to look past it. Moreover, we need to recognize this bonus culture on Wall Street gave rise to the catastrophe that has befallen us. And we need to pull it out by the roots. And letting some of the worst malefactors of this catastrophe get away with this kind of money is absurd. The notion that we had to have these people, that they were essential above all else, is absolute nonsense. There are plenty of financial engineers on Wall Street. They could have hired people to replace those that might have left. I just don't buy the notion that they were so essential, and they should have known this was going to happen, because this has become common practice in bankruptcies. It went on with the airlines. We paid their executives too much to rescue those companies to only trash them again. Now, this is all silliness and polemics we got today.
Yeah, let's get a call in real quick. Joanne in New Jersey. Oh, no, Joanne? Okay. A lot of you do want to call in. We'll get all the calls straight, some of your text messages, emails. Everybody wants in on this one. Again, we'll talk to our experts just about how can they justify this. Again, how can you justify giving away this bonus money when we're giving you billions in taxpayer dollars? More on AIG outrage coming up. All right, this just in HLN here. We've got a couple of updates for you. I just talked to Drew Griffin. Let's not be bashful. Drew, come on here. We have an update on Chris Dodd. Chris Dodd is saying what he is. Wait, we just talked about that. Who okayed this modification or this one-line clause? I'll let you take it from there.
It seems to be happening simultaneously, but Chris Dodd, the senator, and now the Treasury are saying that they agreed to put in this clause about the bonuses. This is from CNN Wires. Officials with the Obama administration pushed to make sure contracts for bonuses at companies receiving federal bailout money stayed in place, a Treasury Department official told CNN. So now we have a deal, apparently, or the origins of this clause came between Treasury and Senator Dodd's office. Senator Dodd has now apologized to our congressional producer, Ted Barrett, whom he told yesterday he had nothing to do with this. So it's somewhat breaking news, but
it is.
There you have it. The buck stops with Chris Dodd and over at Treasury. So a developing story. I just wanted to bring that development in as soon as we got it.
Yeah, and there's going to be a price to pay for that. When people are this outraged, and now we find out it's going through Chris Dodd. Again, Drew was just walking out the door, by the way. Got the update, walked back in for us. That's why he's basically walking on the set right now. And you look at this, and as you have studied this, investigated this, again, with the Special Investigations Unit, sister network CNN, I mean, how were people, I mean, were they just ducking this? They didn't want to answer this or be any part of this with the outrage.
I'm 100% honest with you. They think they can get away with it. They think that you and I won't ask.
Wow.
Literally. So they think if they can duck these questions long enough, or as soon as you start asking questions, say, you know what, it's time to look forward. We know something happened bad in the past, but we need to look forward. That's the catchphrase. You got to go back and find out what happened. That's what happened here. People started to demand answers from Senator Dodd. And they got the message that they had to come clean. Somebody wrote this language. Now we know who did.
Okay. Again, Drew Griffin, great stuff. Thanks for swinging back to give us that update. I want to bring our experts in on this. Again, we have economist Peter Marisi and also the Watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Peter, I'll start with you. Your reaction to hearing that this is going through Chris Dodd. You surprised at that? Your thoughts?
Well, I am surprised. However, if you, as I've been a senior federal official, know that this kind of legislation can go through very, very rapidly. And I could believe that Chris Dodd actually had a lapse of memory. I know the senator. And if anybody stands tall in my mind with honesty and straightforwardness, even though, not all of his actions have been perfect, but, I'm inclined, I want to hear his explanation. But I'm inclined to wait to hear that before I draw any judgment about the integrity of Senator Dodd. That said, it is really unfortunate that this clause was put in the legislation because, frankly, you mentioned the state legislation in Connecticut. Remember, under our Constitution, a federal law trumps a state law. So if we had a federal law that could, pull back those bonuses, the state law would be useless.
Okay. Chris Markowski, I got to get your take because, again, I don't want to pass judgment either, but I'll say this. Republican or Democrat, we want to be in this together, and we want to be transparent, and we want to fight together to get out of this. And now's the time to tell the truth and not duck the tough questions, as our colleague Drew Griffin was saying.
Well, how about this? Has any politician come out today and volunteered to give back their campaign cash from last year? Anyone?
No.
I mean, Chris Dodd, I appreciate the professor knowing Chris Dodd, but, something's rotten in Denmark here. I mean, this guy had a shady deal going on with Countrywide, Wall Street Journal report, his real estate deal there on the Irish coast. I'm not buying it. I'm really not. I mean, he was #1 campaign contribution recipient from AIG. Barack Obama was 2. I think John McCain was 3. Joe Biden was well up on this list. We know how this works. Return all this money. I mean, that's why people should be getting angry, because Washington has played a part in this whole deal.
Yeah.
The Republicans get a lot of money as well. If the Republicans held the banking committee right, if they held the majority, I think you'd find their guys would be high on the list as well. I agree with you, though. I have been long advocate cleaning up this campaign problem. We shouldn't have Wall Street giving money to members of the banking committee or to people who are running for president. But they are, and it's a very unfortunate situation. It creates the appearance of something that is very tawdry, and it's a very unfortunate circumstance that we're in, and we need to clean that up.
Guys, we're going to continue this. If everyone can stick around, want to hear from the news on HLN. A lot of breaking news concerning the AIG situation. Real quick, AIG, failing insurance giant, getting $170 billion at least in our taxpayer money so the company could stay afloat. Then we're finding out they're giving out $165 million in bonuses. Many of you outraged about that. Now we're finding out that Senator Chris Dodd admitted to CNN, told CNN he is responsible for slipping the bonus loophole in the legislation, the TARP legislation, the stimulus legislation. So many are going to be outraged about that. We're just getting that into us. I want to bring in our experts. Got just a couple of minutes, guys. Chris Markowski, Watchdog on Wall Street. Peter Marisi, economist here. Wow, so many different places to go. We've talked a little bit about Chris Dodd. Let's get back to the explanation of why on the contracts. Chris, I'll let you handle that, because some people say, wait a minute, what about these contracts? We're giving away $170 billion. Are the contracts void because of that? Because taxpayers basically own the company now? Help us out.
Andrew Cuomo, the Attorney General from New York, looked into this. He actually wrote a letter addressed to Barney Frank yesterday. And in that letter, he basically said that AIG did actually consult with their counsel to see whether or not they could break these contracts, and they felt, their lawyers told them, that they could not go about breaking these contracts. Now, being an insurance company which writes contracts, it's probably not in their best interest to start breaking them. It's going to not bode well for its various different areas of business. Now, if they can get some of this money back or they can renegotiate this stuff, fantastic. But I'd have to listen to your corporate counsel.
Yeah. Real quick, Peter, weigh in on that. On the contract front, can't break it?
Well, at this point, you can't break it, but you can make it a condition for going forward in employment. If they don't give back the bonuses, you can say you don't work here anymore. What's more, AIG was bailed out 4 times. Real quick. And in each of those occasions, the federal government could have imposed the condition that you renegotiate contracts so you don't get the cash.
Guys, more prime news coming up. Stay